Here's how it works. Carbon dioxide gas is sucked up from large industries such as factories and incineration plants. It's transformed into a liquid and shipped out to former oil rigs at sea. Finally, it's injected into disused oil wells and sealed up, with scientists saying the CO2 will eventually become rock. Paul Rees went to Denmark to see the technique at work.
It's a process being billed as a breakthrough in the fight against climate change. Carbon dioxide harvested from industrial emissions in Europe and injected into disused Danish oil wells under the North Sea, there to be stored for eternity by energy companies with a climate conscience.
It's nothing else than reversing the flow and taking CO2 and preventing that from going into the atmosphere, but rather store it under the ground.
We're going to do it to mitigate climate change. I think that is a huge step forward if you think about the multitude of solutions we'll need if we're ever going to get the planet to net zero.
We have now started to inject the first CO2 in the North Sea. Congratulations.
It was Denmark getting the congratulations on Wednesday when its project Greensand claimed a world first for carbon capture and storage, or CCS. The carbon dioxide was brought from Belgium to Denmark on this ship, taken out to the North Sea and injected some 2 kilometres underground. Officials here believe they can store up to 8 million tonnes of CO2 every year. Both the European Union and United Nations now want to develop CCS globally. This facility in Stockholm is being tested as a giant vacuum cleaner for CO2, aiming to clean up the same amount produced by a year of traffic in the Swedish capital.
We separate CO2 from the flue gases of a combined heat and power plant through a process that uses industrial baking soda. We do the same thing as in a baking oven. We increase the temperature and the baking soda releases a stream of CO2 that is then separated from the rest of the flue gases. That CO2 we can compress, transport and store.
As good as burying CO2 might sound, environmentalists see it as an excuse not to phase out fossil fuels.
The attraction of this is that everything can continue as normal and nothing needs to be done by anyone. It just magically is removed. But this magic has a price. It costs energy, it costs money, it costs resources. What we should do instead, reduce logging rates. Trees would sequester much more carbon at a much lower cost. If we would invest all these funds in energy efficiency, we would get lots more bang for the bucks. So this whole thing is a pipe dream.
Denmark's carbon storage is the first in the world of its kind and scale, but whether it takes off may depend on making it profitable. A full-scale project could start next year. Paul Rees, Al Jazeera, Esbjerg, Denmark.